Well, where I go to stick me back at the neck. I live at this little village called Fort Pesley, and all these cottages that are around here will have had coal fires. They didn't have coke, they didn't have wood, they had coal, because the majority of the population which lie here in this churchyard were miners. I'm a chimney sweep. Right, so my equipment consists of rods and a brush. My brush has got a little wheel on top, so if there's any obstructions in the chimney, it just rolls past them. And I've got my little brush here just to sweep up and make a tidy job, because I'm a tidy sort of sweep. Now we do live quite close to a big mansion called Wentworth Woodhouse. I sweep at Wentworth Woodhouse, but their chimneys are far too wide for a brush to go up. So it would touch one side and then touch the other side. So what we use is a little lad, and we send him up chimney. And if he finds he don't want to go up, we generally get a piece of brown paper, light it, and just tickle him under the backside with it, and he goes up chimney. And he takes the brush like this up with him and sweeps the soot from the chimney. Now, so we've talked about a normal sized chimney, and we've talked about the big chimney. Now there are chimneys which are in between that, and they're sort of on what I call semi-manor houses. And what we generally do with those, we can have two ways of working. If it's a fairly low roof, we pop up on the roof and we drop a lead weight on a piece of rope down the chimney, and then we tie a big bunch of holly onto the end of the rope. Then we skittle back down the roof inside and pull from the hearth, pull the rope down until it comes down, and it brings down a load of soot. The other way to do it is to use a goose, which is fairly strange, but what happens with a goose is you get the goose, you bung it up the chimney, and as its head looks up it can see the light, so it doesn't try to come back down, it flaps to the top of the roof, to the top of the chimney I mean, and out to the top. And these are all obviously chimneys without pots on, because in days gone by, early Victorian days, they didn't have pots on the roofs unless they were really highfalutin properties. At that point in time they did have pots on, but the normal folk didn't have a pot on. It was just an open chimney, and it was usual. I don't have a sack or anything to put the soot in, because it was normal to go down the bottom of the garden and drop the soot at the bottom of the garden in a pile, because it was always sought after carbon to mix with the soil to promote seedling growth, so that whether it was summer or winter it went down the garden. So really that's all it's about, other than what I might charge. I would usually charge about twopence or something like that for undertaking a scrap chimney. And of course I'm quite a well-to-do sweep, because I have a push bike. 1879 to 1885, this bike is a solid tyre, because pneumatic tyres were in their infancy in these days. They were in the infancy. Very few people had them. So this is a solid rubber tyre, both back and front, and the chain, it's fixed wheel. so the gears hadn't been invented. This is the next stage of cycle up from what people know as a penny farthing. The penny farthing came in about 1875 to 1885, and these superseded the penny farthing. You'll notice my little lamp there. That little lamp is an oil lamp. They started out with a candle in the lamp, but we've gone up market. We're really posh. We've got a lamp now. Most people think that lamp was fueled by paraffin, but in actual fact it was whale oil. There aren't many surviving now of these little tin lamps, because people not being able to obtain whale oil have used paraffin, and paraffin having a water content rots these away in a matter of 10 years. So there are very few of those about. The other thing is that the law, as with the first motor car, when the first motor car comes into being, and that's around coming up to 1880 to 1900, if you can remember, a man used to have to walk in front of the car with a red flag. So consequently, if you did 5 to 7 miles an hour, that's all they did. So consequently, a cycle was considered to be a racing car of this era. So it was required, other than as well as having a bell, you had to have a constant ringing bell. And as the roads were very rough, potholes, big stones, as you rode on that little bell would ring along and people could see you coming. Obviously, when you rode into a village, the villagers would be wandering about. There'd be kids playing in the middle of the road with their hoops and their irons, and you'd be travelling along on your bike, and you would have to have a constantly ringing bell. And people felt that these new modern things were very hostile towards them, and they used to shout at them, and they used to call them, when they rode through the village quite fast, the word was scorchers. They used to call them scorchers. Being a chimney sweep and being all in black, it was popular on a wedding to have a chimney sweep at your wedding, just as a good luck token. And I've been asked in the past, and possibly in the future, to attend at a wedding. What I generally do is wait till the bride and the groom come out of church, out of the vestry, out into the open air, together with the congregation. And I will walk up to the bride and groom and say, "I'm your lucky chimney sweep at your wedding." And I'll say as well, I say to the bride, "Have you got something old and something new, something borrowed and something blue?" And she'll say yes, or she'll say no. I'll say, "Well, I want to put a silver threepenny bit in your slipper." And I just happen to have a silver threepenny bit in my little purse here, which you can see. There's also some confetti as well, which in actual fact were rose petals in days gone by, from the dog rose, the hedgerow dog rose. And I put a silver threepenny bit in the bride's slipper, and that's a bit of good luck. And I'd say, "Now here's 12 sweets, congratulations, to add good luck to your celebrations. I wish you all your wish you sent, o'er and o'er and o'er again."